Pakistan is also asking, meanwhile, while talking about exporting donkeys and dogs to earn foreign exchange, they have asked for $800 million in assistance.
This is again not news. Pakistan asks for money in two ways. It will go to a country and say, give us money. If the country says we cannot give you money, then Pakistan says, well, in that case, the money that you gave us previously, please wipe out that debt. You know, this is Pakistan's modus operandi. So it's not surprising that they've asked for $800 million, possibly from China. They're asking everybody, and there is no country in the world which has decent relationships with Pakistan, from which Pakistan has not asked for money at least twice or thrice. So Niranjan, this is what it is. I mean, they went to America, they asked for money. They've asked for money from the European Union, from the Saudis, from UAE, from China, from everybody. I mean, there is nobody left. मतलब जिसको कहते हैं ना ऐसा कोई सगा नहीं जिसको ठगा नहीं. There is nobody that they have not cheated or lied to or stolen from. They've taken money from everybody. They've lied. I'll just give you spoke about donkeys, right? Donkeys, selling donkeys. You should read the Line of Fire by Parvez Musharraf. The President and the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, holding two appointments, actually sold 4,000 Pakistanis to the Americans, claiming that they were Al-Qaeda operatives. And they were poor Pakistanis. Somebody was a vegetable seller, somebody was a kebab seller, somebody sold fruits and all that. 4,000 innocent Pakistanis were picked up from the streets by the ISI, and for money, he sold human beings to America, claiming that they were Al-Qaeda operatives. So what are donkeys and dogs, Niranjan? This is the state of this country where they're willing to sell their own citizens for money.
Yeah, no, the reason why we picked up the story is, Major Gauravaria, of course, every country must feed its people, must have enough means and resources to educate its citizens, to ensure that their welfare is taken care of. Now, the reason why we are talking about this is, because we have, of course, tried to help them if they need help, that is, because they often try to also chest thump and not take help when there is a calamity as well. Of course, they've been battered by floods. And the reason why we are picking up this story is, despite all of what is happening, Major Arya, they go to a United Nations and they talk about Kashmir, right? And then there are noises made about how they want to set their economy right, their relationship right with India, and it's never going to happen, is it? You know a thing or two about what happens in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Niranjan, you see, now let's keep these donkeys in the background and let's focus on Bilawal Bhutto first. Bilawal Bhutto recently made a comment that Pakistan can diplomatically help America and China come closer together. And he says Pakistan has a role to play there. I want to ask you, Niranjan, where does this confidence come from? You're a close Pakistan watcher. Where does this confidence come from? A country that is down on its knees begging for arms, a country cannot pay their salaries if they don't get aid, a country that is now, on the verge of selling donkeys and dogs for survival, and they want to be peace broker between China and the United States of America. This is a nation that is delusional. This is absolutely delusional. This is the way they think. Niranjan, what can we do? And there is no telling Pakistan or explaining the truth to Pakistan, Niranjan, because that is the way they think.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, Major Gauravaria, because just found this story extremely fascinating that, their economic blueprint was to present a plan in Parliament about how donkeys would get them foreign exchange. Just before I let you go, Major Gauravaria, how much of money does it really get them? I mean, just trying to get an idea. I mean, what is this great donkey diplomacy that they're fascinated about?
Imran Khan selling the buffaloes at the Prime Minister's house. And then Imran Khan came up with this mad scheme of saying that every Pakistani should keep two murgis, male and female, and then they'll lay eggs and there'll be more. This thing in Pakistan will become an economic superpower just on the strength of chicken. So I don't know how much money these guys will make. I mean, probably a few million here and there. But that should be sufficient for Pakistan. I mean, this is, everything. Selling chicken, selling buffaloes of the Prime Minister's house, selling donkeys, selling dogs. That's all that they're doing, Niranjan.
Well, absolutely. Well, God bless Pakistan economy. Thank you for that, Major Gauravaria. Our wishes are with them, but they don't want any Indian help, and that's okay. Let them figure their lives out. Thank you for joining us, Major Arya. On to the other big story on the biggest story tonight. We have some breaking news details coming in. Yesterday, that is on Monday, we brought you details of a terror module in Hyderabad. Now, as part of this terror module, there were pictures, proofs, grenades, money sent by the Lashkar and the Pakistan ISI found with terror suspects in Hyderabad. And we're getting in more details now. In fact, one of them who was arrested, his name is Maz. It now appears that Maz met Abdullah Basit, a terrorist whom Republic exposed in the year 2017 in a sting operation. And the Hyderabad police, as part of its remand copy in court, has said that this terrorist who was arrested yesterday met Abdullah Basit, the ISIS suspect, in jail, and both of them wanted to flee to Syria. So the reason why the story becomes bigger is, ladies and gentlemen, let's go across to the pictures, and Aneri is joining us live, is the reason why it's even bigger is because when we did the story back then, many political parties came to the support of these, whom they called innocent youth. That was the sting in May 2017. The man you see on your screen right now is Abdullah Basit. We exposed him in 2017. He was let off and he was rearrested in 2018. I'll get Aneri live. He was let off and he was brought, rearrested in 2018. Arrested in 2017 after the Republic TV expose. He was let off and rearrested in 2018. Now it appears that yesterday, we'll show you the pictures, juxtapose this arrest and rearrest with the arrest that was made yesterday when the Pakistan module was busted in Hyderabad. Abdullah Basit is from Hyderabad. We stung him in Hyderabad, and the arrest that had been made by the Hyderabad police is also from Hyderabad. So the story is much bigger, and those in denial about a terror module have egg on their face. It's an embarrassment because they, for whatever reasons, to appease or whatever you call it, had denied any such module. But more and more details are emerging. Aneri is joining us live now. I'll go across to her. Aneri, what can you tell us about what the Hyderabad police has said?
Well, Niranjan, we have been seeing how this terror module was bursted here in Hyderabad by the police, and also at the same time, not to forget, these three accused who have been arrested, they had the motto to, their main target was to create tension among the common people, and their main target was BJP and RSS public meetings and also processions of ahead of the Dasara festival. They wanted to target large public gatherings, and so they had this motto. There were 4 hand grenades which were seized by the police officials when these raids were carried out, but also at the same time, after they were arrested, they were taken for medical examination at Gandhi Hospital and then produced before the magistrate. And now we see that they have been sent to Chantalgoda Central Prison for 14 days of judicial custody after the magistrate's order. So now we have got a lot of sensational details, as we have accessed the demand copy as well, which mentions a lot of things on how they conspired, how they were part of Abdul Zahid, who is one of the main accused in this case, is also having a lot of terror links, as he has been in constant touch with the Pakistan-based handlers, especially ISI and LET. So definitely a big terror plot which has been busted by the Hyderabad City Police.
Yeah. Now, what is the link between Abdullah Basit and this Maz who was arrested? Can you give us some details? Share some details with us.
Well, Abdullah Basit, Abdullah Saeed, and also his brother, Shahid Bilal. He is the brother. Shahid is brother, and they had a lot of. Their main target was to create tension, and also at the same time, if we can go through the remand copy, which mentions a lot of things, especially ISI and LET reviving contacts from their old cadres that had witnessed the following arrest of these two. There is Abdul Zahid and other 2 people who were arrested, as Abdul Zahid was acquitted in 2005 task force case, and also now he has in the Pakistan-based handler Farashan Gauri and others succeeded in pursuing to continue the legacy of jihad. So they want that the legacy of jihad should continue, and that is why they wanted to create this sort of pressure and create a tension-like atmosphere by attacking at the RSC and BJP meetings and processions.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Aneri, for joining us with those details. In fact, the story is still unraveling in Hyderabad. Let's get you the top updates from across the country this evening. Home Minister Amit Shah kick-started his three-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir this morning. On day one, Amit Shah offered prayers at the Vaishno Devi Temple, just a mega rally in Rajouri, slated to unveil a series of projects. In Rajouri, Amit Shah spoke on integration, unity and sent across a message of nation first in his address.
जो कहते थे धारा 370 जाएगी तो फिर पंजाब पर आग लग जाएगी। आज की ये रैली उन लोगों को जवाब है जो कहते थे धारा 370 जाएगी तो खून की नदियां बह जाएगी।
From politics over Article 370 to the rule of three families for over 70 years, Home Minister raised these points in his speech as he took a take at the Gupkar Alliance in his address.
मोदी जी ने सबसे पहले पंचायत के चुनाव कराए और 19 के बाद तहसील पंचायत, जिला पंचायत के चुनाव कराए। मित्रों, आज जो पहले 3 परिवार के पास था, इसकी जगह आज 30,000 लोगों के पास जम्मू कश्मीर का शासन आया है। मित्रों, 30,000 लोगों के पास।
Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor in attendance, Amit Shah visited the holy shrine of Vaishno Devi, offered prayers and as he began his three-day visit. J&K DG Prisons H.K. Loya was found dead under mysterious circumstances. That was last night in Jammu, with further details yet to be ascertained. The police have, however, arrested the main accused. Hours after the search and cordon operations were launched by the Jammu and Kashmir police in the murder case of DG Prisons, the main accused, the domestic help, was arrested. Judicial custody of Sanjay Raut has been extended. He will remain in jail till the 11th of October. The Bombay High Court has granted bail to former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in one case, and with no bail granted as of yet in the CBI case, Anil Deshmukh will continue to stay in jail at least till the 12th of October. In a big development in the freebie case, Election Commission has asked political parties to make genuine promises by providing authentic information to voters and avoid unreal promises on freebies. Ahead of KCR's National Party launch, a video showing TRS leaders distributing alcohol bottles and chicken to people has sparked a big controversy.
आज जो पहले 3 परिवार के पास था, इसकी जगह आज 30,000 लोगों के पास जम्मू कश्मीर का शासन आया है। मित्रों, 30,000 लोगों।
Big rallies by Amit Shah rattles the Gupkar gang. A big message from Naya Kashmir to the anti-India lobby, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant Lohia, was found murdered at his residence in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. The servant in question is presently on the run.
Tractor trolley carrying pilgrims overturned in Khatampur area in Kanpur.
ये धमाका और जो पुल है वो ढह चुका है.
We are now seeing lathi charge taking place on all the protesters. They want strong action against the perpetrator.
As a poster war brews between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka, the BJP has launched posters over Congress leader Siddaramaiah, having helped the PFI on previous occasions.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant Lohia, was found murdered at his residence in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. The servant in question is presently on the run.
Tractor trolley carrying pilgrims overturned in Khatampur area in Kanpur.
ये धमाका और जो पुल है वो ढह चुका है.
We are now seeing lathi charge taking place on all the protesters. They want strong action against the perpetrator.
As a poster war brews between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka, the BJP has launched posters over Congress leader Siddaramaiah, having helped the PFI on previous occasions.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. Getting in some breaking news now. The Prime Minister has spoken to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. That call has happened earlier this evening. There's been a press release now issued on the details of the call between the Prime Minister and the Ukrainian President Zelensky. The Prime Minister, we are told, has asked for early cessation of violence, of hostilities, and the need to pursue the path of dialogue and diplomacy. So PM urges Ukraine to ensure that there is dialogue and diplomacy. That's the breaking news coming in right now. In fact, we're picking up more details. There are file pictures as well of the Prime Minister meeting Zelensky, but nonetheless, the Prime Minister has spoken to him and he has reiterated his call for early cessation of hostilities, something that he also discussed with Vladimir Putin when he spoke to him earlier this month. In fact, that was last month when he met Putin at Samarkand. He spoke about the need to end the conflict soon. A similar message also going out while the Prime Minister discusses the Ukraine conflict with Zelensky. And that's it on the biggest story tonight. Taking a short break now. A reminder, at 9 p.m. At 9 p.m, Arnab will be discussing the big story of the day, that of Amit Shah being in Kashmir and the message that he sent out in Kashmir to those who said there would be rivers of blood, etc. The reality is much different.
Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant Lohia, was found murdered at his residence in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. The servant in question is presently on the run.
Tractor trolley carrying pilgrims overturned in Khatampur area in Kanpur.
ये धमाका और जो पुल है वो ढह चुका है.
We are now seeing lathi charge taking place on all the protesters. They want strong action against the perpetrator.
As a poster war brews between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka, the BJP has launched posters over Congress leader Siddaramaiah, having helped the PFI on previous occasions.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant Lohia, was found murdered at his residence in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. The servant in question is presently on the run.
Tractor trolley carrying pilgrims overturned in Khatampur area in Kanpur.
ये धमाका और जो पुल है वो ढह चुका है.
We are now seeing lathi charge taking place on all the protesters. They want strong action against the perpetrator.
As a poster war brews between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka, the BJP has launched posters over Congress leader Siddaramaiah, having helped the PFI on previous occasions.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant Lohia, was found murdered at his residence in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. The servant in question is presently on the run.
These are the first indigenously developed light combat helicopters.
The flight, coming in from Iran, from Tehran, there was a bomb threat on board the flight. India stopped the plane from landing in Delhi.
This is one of the major breakdown by the Hyderabad City Police.
And my colleague Shivangi is now joining us for Superfast 50, the 50 biggest headlines of the day. Over to you, Shivangi.
Well, absolutely, Niranjan. It's time for all the updates, national, international and sport on Superfast 50. Let's get started. Home Minister Amit Shah sends out the biggest message from the centre, giving a befitting reply to the naysayers. Shah said that Kashmir has silenced all the critics today who claimed that there would be a river of blood.
धारा 370 जाएगी तो फिर पंजाब पर आग लग जाएगी. आज की ये रैली उन लोगों को जवाब है जो कहते थे धारा 370 जाएगी तो खून की नदियां बह जाएगी.
You know, Mr. said that in the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, there has been a curb on terror activities in the valley. He added that stone pelting has now stopped and instead tourism business has grown in the past years.
आए दिन पथराव के समाचार अखबार में आप पढ़ते थे या नहीं पढ़ते थे? बोलो भाई, जोर से बोलो, सुना ही नहीं पड़ा, पढ़ते थे या नहीं पढ़ते थे? अब पथराव के समाचार आते हैं क्या? आते हैं क्या? मोदी जी ने युवाओं के हाथ से पत्थर लेकर लैपटॉप थमाने का काम किया है, नौकरी देने का काम किया।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah, during his visit to Jammu and Kashmir, tore into the three families for looting Jammu and Kashmir. Commencing his speech at the rally, he has hailed PM Modi and the abrogation of Article 370.
मोदी जी ने सबसे पहले पंचायत के चुनाव कराए और 19 के बाद तहसील पंचायत, जिला पंचायत के चुनाव कराए। मित्रों, आज जो पहले 3 परिवार के पास था, इसकी जगह आज 30,000 लोगों के पास जम्मू कश्मीर का शासन आया है। मित्रों, 30,000 लोगों के पास।
You know, Minister Amit Shah, during his historic visit to Jammu and Kashmir, announced that the Prime Minister paved a way for reservation of numerous communities in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370.
धारा 370 को हटाने से यहाँ पिछड़ों को, दलितों को, आदिवासियों को और पहाड़ियों को अपना अधिकार मिलने वाला है।
Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena directed the Chief Secretary to conduct an inquiry into the alleged irregularities and the discrepancies in the power subsidy given by the Aam Aadmi Party government to the BSES discoms. LG Saxena has said and sought their report from the top official within 7 days. Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Prisons, Hemant K. Lohia, was found murdered at his residence here in Jammu, with police suspecting his domestic help as the main culprit. Main accused in the case of the Jammu and Kashmir DG's murder was arrested by the police between Ramban and Udhampur as multiple raids were undertaken in the two districts in order to nab the servant. Jammu and Kashmir police released a statement in connection with the murder of Jammu and Kashmir DG H.K. Lohia, with the servant Yasir being named the main accused in the case. The police further stated that there was no terror angle apparent in the case.
ये कल शाम का वाकया है, बहुत ही दुखद घटना है। शुरुआती जांच में ऐसा लग रहा है कि एक लड़का जो डोमेस्टिक हेल्प के तौर पे उनके साथ काम करता था, 4-5 महीनों से काम कर रहा था, उसका हाथ है इस घटना में। CCTV फुटेजेस अवेलेबल है जिसमें वो भागता हुआ नज़र आ रहा है। जो हथियार इस कांड में इस्तेमाल हुआ है उसको बरामद कर लिया गया है। फिलहाल टेरर एंगल का कोई भी एविडेंस इसमें नहीं आया।
In the talk for alleged hacking of JEE examination, Russian hacker arrested by the CBI on Monday from Indira Gandhi International Airport has been sent to 2-day CBI custody. A massive protest broke out as locals and police personnel clashed in Gujarat's Porbandar over a demolition drive, with police resorting to lathi charge and tear gas to disperse the crowd. The protest eventually turned violent. In a big development in the freebie debate, the Election Commission of India has asked the parties to make genuine promises to their voters after assessing the financial viability of their promises. The crackdown on the Popular Front of India continues. Police arrested 4 members of the banned organisation. Sources in the know informed that the accused did a recce of the religious place and were conspiring to spread religious frenzy. A poster war brewed in Karnataka after 4 PFI members were arrested in New Delhi. The BJP has launched a poster over Congress leader Siddaramaiah having helped the PFI on previous occasions. The TRS is likely to be renamed as Bharat Rashtra Samiti and the state government's welfare schemes would be showcased across the country to help it emerge as a national force. TRS President and Telangana CM K. Chandrasekhar Rao is expected to announce the new name for the party tomorrow. An unusual sight, Telangana Rashtra Samiti leader Rajanalla Srihari was seen distributing alcohol bottles like chickens to labourers in Warangal. Now, the development came just a day ahead of the talk that Telangana Chief Minister and TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao will be announcing a national party on the eve of Dussehra. Woman died by suicide in Pudukkottai district, leaving a note behind that blamed a DMK functionary for abatement of a suicide. Now, the deceased, who has been identified as Kokila, she hanged herself to death. In the note, she accused the DMK functionary and his wife of threatening her with fake murder charges. The news of Kokila's death by suicide spread across the area. Massive protests erupted. The deceased relatives, along with the BJP workers, staged huge demonstrations outside the police stations, accusing the police for not taking stern action against the accused mentioned in the note of the victim. The district SP has now suspended 3 police officers, out of which one is Bhubaneshwari, wife of DMK functionary Kumar. As many as 10 mountaineers have been killed in an avalanche at Mount Draupadi Ka Danda 2 peak in Uttarakhand's Uttarkashi district. Now, a team of 34 trainees, mountaineers and 7 instructors from the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering were caught in an avalanche while returning. The bodies of deceased mountaineers have now been recovered. Taking stock of the situation, Uttarakhand's CM Pushkar Singh Dhami assured rapid relief and rescue operations to save the mountaineers. At least 28 trainees were feared to be trapped.
6 लोगों का रेस्क्यू होने का भी समाचार मिला है, जहां जिला प्रशासन, एनडीआरएफ, एसडीआरएफ और सेना की मदद के लिए भी हम लोगों ने आग्रह किया था। सेना ने भी अपनी मदद देने के लिए पूरी तरह से माननीय डिफेंस मिनिस्टर साहब से बात हुई थी। उन्होंने भी सेना के लोगों को कहा है, सभी लोग बचाव के कार्य में लगे हैं। भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं कि सभी सुरक्षित लौट कर आ जाएं।
Uttarakhand police informed that the investigation in the Ankita Bandhari case is on the right track and all the guests are also being investigated. This comes as the police previously confirmed that the post-mortem report has matched the SIT evidence.
आधार कार्ड पे जो भी हमारे पास गेस्ट्स का आने का है और जो पिछले जो आए हुए उनका भी हमारे पास मिल गया है और उन्हीं के सब का हम जांच कर रहे हैं। और जो घटना के टाइम पे जो भी गेस्ट्स थे, हालांकि एक ही कपल गेस्ट थे वहाँ पे, उनसे भी हमारी पूछताछ हो गया है।
A special PMLA court extended Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut's judicial custody, thereby denying his bail plea. His custody has been extended till the 10th of October in connection with the Patra Chaul land scam case as a result. The CBI recently declared that the death of a fisherman named Paresh Mehta during a riot at the district of Hanavar in Karnataka in 2016 as an accident. The report by the CBI comes from after 4.5 following the incident. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh was granted bail on the condition of a surety of a bond of 1 lakh rupees by the Bombay High Court, with a bail granted in connection with the ED's money laundering scam. The former minister has been charged for. He would still remain behind bars as the CBI case against him persists. Medanta Hospital has released a statement on the latest update of the Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. The hospital has stated that Mulayam is an intensive care unit.
वो तो देश के बेमिसाल नेता हैं, उनकी कोई मिसाल नहीं है। वो तो शानदार और बेमिसाल नेता है। गरीबों के, लाचारों के, बेसहारा लोगों का मसला है देश का। अब सारे लोग ये प्रार्थना भगवान से करते हैं कि वो जल्दी स्वस्थ हों और ठीक हों।
At least 5 attempts were made to infiltrate drones from Pakistan, which were foiled by the Punjab police on the border and in the state. And the police fired at least 37 rounds at the drones as they attempted to enter the country 5 times in 5 hours. The drones were spotted in Punjab's district of Gurdaspur. two groups clashed and hurled stones at each other over putting up a religious flag in the Savli town in Gujarat's Vadodara district. According to police officials, 36 people have been arrested. The incident occurred on Saturday night after a group of people objected to members of another community trying to put up a religious flag alongside their flag on an electricity pole. Peter Mukherjee's son, Rahul Mukherjee, was deposed before a special CBI court with the cross-examination to be carried out by Indrani Mukherjee's lawyer in connection with the murder of Sheena Bora. Now, both Indrani Mukherjee and Peter Mukherjee were present during their deposition. RJD leader Manoj Jha was denied permission to visit Pakistan for an event by the Ministry of External Affairs, stating that the event was organized in the memory of Asma Jahangir, a co-founder of the Pakistan Human Rights Commission. Manoj Jha called denial of permission unfortunate.
ये अस्मा जहांगीर जी की मेमोरी में थी और पूरे दक्षिण एशिया में उनके काम से हर कोई वाकिफ है। बड़े लोगों के बच्चे बिजनेस कर लें पाकिस्तान के साथ, वहाँ के लोगों के साथ, लेकिन मैं जहाँ अपने देश का पक्ष रख सकता था वो डिनाई होता। और विसंगति देखिए, MHA FCRA क्लियरेंस देता है जो मुझे कल मिला, और MEA पॉलिटिकल क्लियरेंस डिक्लाइन करता है।
The last outpost near the China border in Dharma Valley of Pithoragarh district received the third snowfall of the season on the 2nd of October, with the snowfall acting as an indication of the onset of winter in Uttarakhand. Indian Air Force Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary commented on China-bound Iranian airline and the Air Force's protocol in connection with such incidents.
As regards to the recent air violations or incursions or increased air activity by the Chinese, we continuously monitor it by continuously enhancing our air defense efforts there. We have increased the presence of radars and SHW systems. We have networked them into our IACCS network, and appropriate non-escalatory air defense measures are taken.
UK PM Liz Truss has now insisted she's leading a government that listens to the people and learns from its mistakes as she tries to restore her shaky authority and reassure financial markets spooked by her government's seesawing economic pledges.
I understand it's a very, very worrying time for people. Let's remember where we were 4 weeks ago. People were facing energy bills of up to £6,000. We've helped with those energy bills across the board. We've helped businesses who could face going out of business through a business energy scheme as well.
Solomon Islands foreign minister informed that they have agreed to sign an accord between the US and more than a dozen of Pacific nations only after indirect references to China were removed.
The framework cooperation agreement with China, and I think I've made this clear on a number of occasions. It's basically based on a national security strategy. It's domestically focused. And of course, we are guided by the existing regional security arrangements that we have in place.
Colombia's President Gustavo Petro called on the US to remove Cuba from the list of countries that sponsor terrorism. He said that the government of former President Ivan Duque had harmed Cuba by asking the US to include Cuba on the list. The past 3 years have been California's driest on record, and state officials warned that they are preparing for the streak to continue. The official water year concluded last week, marking an end to a period that saw both record rainfall in October and the driest January to March period in at least a century. Scientists say that such weather whiplash is likely to become more common as the planet warms. It will take more than a few winter storms to help the state dig out of the drought. Japan's defense minister said that the missile launched is believed to have a range of those of intermediate range ballistic missile or longer. The flight distance of estimated 4,600 kilometers is believed to be the longest among the past North Korea launched missiles. The remnants of Hurricane Ian are bringing heavy rain and flooding to the areas of U.S. mid-Atlantic and northeast coast. In fact, southeastern Virginia, Norfolk and Virginia Beach declared states of emergency, although a shift in wind direction prevented potentially catastrophic levels. Leaders from more than 40 countries will gather this week in Prague, Czech Republic, to launch a European political community aimed at boosting security and economic prosperity across the continent, in spite of critics claiming that the new forum is an attempt to put the brakes on European Union enlargement. South Korea and the US Air Force conducted air drills in response to North Korea's latest intermediate ballistic missile launch. The Joint Chiefs of Staff said that the 4 F-15K fighters of South Korea and the 4 F-16 jets of the US took part in the drills. The upper house of Russia parliament ratified the treaties with 4 Ukrainian regions there to absorb them into Russia. The Federation Council voted to endorse the treaties, making the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia regions part of Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that Ukrainian fighters who have been imprisoned by Russia for months were reunited with their families. The release of the Azov fighters who defended the Azovstal steel plant in the besieged city of Mariupol was secured in a high-profile prisoner swap in September after Ukraine gave up an ally, pro-Russian Ukrainian opposition leader Viktor. 3 scientists jointly won this year's Nobel Prize in Physics for their work on quantum information science that has significant applications. For example, in the field of encryption, Alain Aspect, John F. Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger were cited by the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences for pioneering quantum information science. Iran